The theater lights dimmed, and the restless crowd fell silent as a small boy stepped nervously onto the stage. His clothes were simple, his shoes scuffed, and his hands trembled slightly as he clutched the microphone. He looked far too young to stand before thousands of people, but there was a quiet strength in his eyes, something that hinted he had lived through more than most adults in the room. No one expected what was about to happen. The judges exchanged uncertain glances. They had seen hundreds of auditions, many good and many forgettable. But something about this boy, about the way he stood so still, so fragile under the heavy lights, captured everyone's attention. One of the judges leaned forward, whispering almost to herself, "He looks so scared." And he was. His story had already traveled quietly through the backstage crew. He had lost his parents at a young age, and had been raised in foster care, bouncing from home to home, always carrying with him the loneliness that never seemed to leave. Music was his only companion, the only thing that reminded him he could still feel, still dream. The first notes of Hallelujah filled the auditorium, soft and almost trembling, as though the words were too heavy for his small frame. At first, there was only silence, but then his voice rose, gentle, pure, filled with aching honesty. It wasn't polished, it wasn't perfect, but it was raw in a way that touched the soul. By the second verse, the audience was leaning forward, eyes glistening, their hearts caught in the cracks of his voice. The judges tried to remain composed, but they couldn't. Each word he sang carried the weight of a child who had learned pain too early, yet chose to pour it into beauty. His voice shook when he reached the word Hallelujah, and for a moment, the microphone trembled in his hands. He closed his eyes, took a breath, and pushed forward, his voice growing stronger, freer, almost as if singing was lifting the chains from his heart. By the final chorus, the boy's tears rolled silently down his cheeks, and the audience rose to their feet, clapping, crying, cheering. The theater was alive with emotion. And on the judges' panel, something rare happened, every single one of them was in tears. They weren't just hearing a song, they were witnessing a story told through music, a story of survival, pain, and hope. One judge covered her mouth, unable to hide her sobs, while another wiped his eyes openly, whispering, "This is why we're here. This is why music matters." The boy finished and stood in stunned silence, unsure of what to do next. He wasn't expecting this reaction. He wasn't expecting love. For so long, he had believed he wasn't enough, that his voice was too small, his presence too invisible. But in that moment, under the warm glow of the spotlight and the roar of applause, he realized the truth: his voice had power. His story mattered. The judges struggled to speak through their tears, each of them praising not just his talent, but his courage. "You didn't just sing that song," one judge said softly. "You lived it. And you made us live it with you." Another added, "You reminded us tonight that music is about truth, and you gave us yours. Thank you." The golden buzzer was pressed, and confetti rained down as the boy covered his face, overwhelmed. For the first time in his life, he felt seen. He felt loved. His story wasn't one of pity anymore, it was one of triumph. Behind the stage, as he hugged the host tightly, he whispered, "I just wanted my parents to hear me sing." And though they couldn't be there, it felt as if the entire world had heard him instead. The story of that performance spread far beyond the theater. Millions watched online, finding strength in his voice, many of them facing their own struggles, their own heartbreaks. His courage became a reminder that even in the darkest times, beauty can rise, hope can be born, and broken hearts can still sing. That night wasn't just about a boy singing Hallelujah. It was about resilience. About the power of honesty. About how pain, when shared through art, can become light for others. As the audience left, still wiping their eyes, one message lingered: no matter where you come from, no matter what you've lost, your voice matters, and your story can change the world.